The best words to use for the NFL offseason, I mean, almost any offseason, depending on your investment on the sport, is always expect the unexpected, bro. It comes in a massive turnaround real quick when it comes to how we expect NFL teams to conduct business. And one of those was DK Metcalf. He's been open for trade for the past week since Seattle Seahawks been trying to generate possibly a new rebuild. They haven't been a franchise where you see players end their career kind of either a retirement point for a formerly established NFL talent, or they'll go over to a younger regime. Like, you'll see franchise cornerstones like Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, and Richard Sherman. They don't finish their careers as a Seattle Seahawk. And now getting rid of DK Metcalf for a second round pick for the 2025 draft. All-pro receiver has the size of a prime defensive all-pro with the ability, agility, and deep ball threat of an all-pro receiver, bro. You put him in a defensively schemed Pittsburgh Steelers way with Mike Tomlin, that somehow still established as an elite NFL coach. Yes, I have my own opinions on Mike Tomlin, and I'm sure there's going to be more down-to-earth Pittsburgh Steelers fans that agree with me that he's been somewhat carried over to mediocrity, scratching for wild card success. And now we got like Josh Allen's $330 million 6-year contract with the Buffalo Bills after making an AFC title game that he wasn't gonna win. Devontae Adams now got 2 years, $44 million, signing with the LA Rams, even though they've been vocal about starting off fresh as a younger unit, while I guess they're possibly going to be getting trade rumors for Cooper Kupp, while their best young receiver has been Puka Nacua. So I'm very concerned about how they want to let things lie over in LA, involving their ambitions if they're still going to contend for the division after Seattle just traded away for a late round pick, Geno Smith, over for the Raiders. And now you got Kupp, Devontae Adams on paper. This would be an outstanding receiving core with Demarcus Robinson. Tutu Atwell, that's a decent slot that pushes for good yardage. And Tyler Higbee at least being a good starting tight end that's not really all pro level. But I don't know how far you can still go with this team, and knowing the offensive lineman help and the canceled talks about Matthew Stafford trying to possibly things didn't go through over for him to go into Las Vegas. Because you don't want to be pushing over in the decline. You got to relocate in general. And also Zadarius Smith just got released by the Detroit Lions. So some stuff has just been out of the loop when it comes to NFL teams. And Khalil Mack taking a 1-year extension with the Chargers. Well, Joey Bosa has been on the decline for the past 3 years. So I wonder what's going to be the conversation piece going over for who's going to be in the sweepstakes for a contending ship for Myles Garrett. That would be such an X factor for especially a young team, knowing that DK is going to Pittsburgh. That would be it'd be a very crazy thing to go over. While we have Grady Jarrett getting released, Tress Way getting a new deal. I heard about Hunter Renfrow that recently retired, and now you got Austin Hooper getting a 1-year extension for the New England Patriots. So I'm shocked we're possibly going to see some more declining receiving cores go over to the Patriots. over their vast rebuilding strategies that failed to work. Let's be honest with ourselves. And the Cowboys giving Marquise Bell safety 3 years, $9 million. I wonder how ambitious the Cowboys are going to be after last year's failure to make any noise this offseason. Last offseason, they were very not ambitious in the trade deadline, and they weren't ambitious in the offseason. Really reluctant on signing that new extension on Dak Prescott, feeling like there would still be a contending chip after the Eagles and the Commanders literally just swept home their 2 playoff slots in the NFC East. And I don't know what's going to be the directive for the Seattle Seahawks. And there's already been questions over 2 prime lottery receivers, or 2 prime lottery quarterbacks, if they're even worth getting out of Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. But the safer pick would push over to Cam Ward over the overhype and nepotism being the conversation piece. And now we got J.C. Horn getting a 4-year extension for the Carolina Panthers, while Grady gets the axe. I feel like it's fair. In anybody's estimate, it's been very fun to see Myles Garrett sign a 4-year, $160 million extension. I thought that got declined. While Von Miller gets waived? Interesting. And now they put themselves in more cap hell because they just converted Derek Carr's contract. So they're still sweeping with that because they don't know if they can trust another. And this is when they were backing up Spencer Rattler. And he could barely get a snap in. I don't even know what's going to be the Saints' point. I hope the new coach does well, because he was coordinator from the Eagles offense that was dominant last year. Tommy Tremble signed a new 10-year extension. They had to convert to probably save over on cap, but why not just waive him to save like at least $30 million on cap? Because I bet Derek Carr has the biggest contract in the Raiders on the New Orleans Saints, and they're just better off to rebuild. And you could probably ship him back to Las Vegas. That would just be, I feel like, such a swan song back to mediocrity for at least sub 500 football, because the Saints have been bottom tier to competitive in such the most mediocre division, but somehow the most entertaining division. I've actually enjoyed some football from the NFC South. The Saints can creep up and win 4 straight, then lose their next 5, and then still be creeping over for a wild card spot come week 16. Like, it's hilarious how this team is still this competitive, but you don't know if they're instilling to rebuild over until the final third. I think it was that game where they choked against the Raiders to begin with, to keep on that they're not tanking over the second half after getting eliminated from playoffs. Or the Atlanta Falcons after their failure. They could possibly still trade offer over the cap to just gain some draft stock with Kirk Cousins, knowing his availability probably is at an all-time high. Send him to the Browns. No, they can't. They cannot. And this is with Jermaine Sherwood getting a 3-year, $45 million extension. And I can't even guarantee if the New York Jets defense would actually improve. So I'm very concerned. Jaylen Warren deserved 1 year. Jaylen Warren only got 1 year, $5 million. I understand running back stock in the NFL, like the highest contract you're possibly going to see is $50 million minimum for all-pro running back like Saquon Barkley. I think the second highest paid used to be Alvin Kamara. And knowing the availability now of all-pro running backs could just be like saved due to drafts. If that's the case, I wonder what bag that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get after his rookie contract is going to give up, and they're going to possibly put up. He's possibly going to be still a competitive team out of this Lions group that went 5-2 but sold in the first playoff game. That's going to be the concern, because this could be a long run running back core that's going to have a lot of depth and have a coach willing to be a bit more creative when it comes to blowout victories. But this has already been a crazy first day, and technically second day, of the NFL free agency. I'm sure to update you guys later. That's it for me. Thanks for watching the DST show. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I'm going to take my Tylenol because DK Metcalf is now a Steeler.